Hi, everybody. This is John Talker from Car Biz Insider, your host. I have another special guest here with me today, Jason Dale from Automotive Business School of Canada. Hi, Jason. How are you doing today?
Great, John. Everything's going quite well. Thanks for having me on the show.
That's amazing. It's such a pleasure to have some automotive expert like you on the show. Like it's really good because we always talk about cars business, OEMs, electrification, but we never talk about the schooling options in education. So, uh, why don't I put you in the spotlight and you talk about yourself, who Jason Dale is, and all that amazing stuff?
Sure. Thanks so much, John. I started in the auto industry back in the late '80s, and I started as a mechanic's apprentice down in a small garage in downtown Toronto. And I did that for a few years, and then worked my way into a Chrysler store. I really wanted to get into a dealership, and I started in a parts department, and I actually stayed in parts and service for probably about 50% of my career, working through the parts department, the service department at the Chrysler store, and then I moved over to BMW. And then while I was at BMW, I saw the light where I wanted to be a general manager of a dealership, and I it's unfortunate, but most general managers come from the variable side. So I stopped doing what I was doing in fixed, and I moved over and started selling cars and worked my way through the variable side, variable operations for the pretty much the second portion of my career. Went through numerous roles in both sales management in the new car side and the used car side, and then finally landed my position at Volkswagen in Newmarket, where I became the general manager, and I was a general manager through the TDI crisis back in 2015, which was probably one of the best learning experiences a general manager could possibly have. And while I was the general manager there, I took a program at the Automotive Business School of Canada called the Canadian Dealer Academy. I was part of the first cohort. Once I graduated from there, they asked me they'd asked me if I'd like to teach a little bit part time, and I said sure. I actually I love giving back, and I do. My passion is definitely fixed operations, so I started teaching a little bit, and lo and behold, I became the executive director of the Automotive Business School of Canada in February 14th, 2018, and it's been great. It's been a fantastic experience. I love working with the faculty and the students and the industry.
Well, this is an amazing story because I have a huge respect for someone like you, and you're teaching and you're teaching something you have done in the past, which is amazing because most of the times a lot of instructors didn't have an opportunity to do that thing which they're teaching, but you've been through everything in a car dealership, and as students learning from you is this is really good opportunity for them because they're going to learn the real deal from you, and that's why I respect the school a lot in terms of the faculty, because I think generally speaking, a lot of people teaching at your school have some sort of automotive background, right? Is that the case? Like, would you be
Yes,
able to
absolutely.
explain that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a great faculty team. Many of them have many of them have automotive backgrounds, but also have educational backgrounds as well. So that really is a great combination for our students. So we have the automotive experience, but we also have the curriculum experience as well. So they do a fantastic job. And you ask any one of our alumni, and they've always got great stories to talk about with their faculty members.
That's good because it's not just about learning the curriculum. It's about getting advice in terms of the past experience. So I know you were a used car director too for FAF Auto Group back in those days. And if I'm just a brand new guy coming to the school and my dream is to become a used car sales manager in the future because I love used cars so much, and let's say I have an opportunity to talk to someone like you and I can learn other things like auto auctions, trade rev, like normally you won't be able to learn that in a school, but because you've been through those things, you can give me good advices and tips too. That's why I think this is a really good setup, the way they set it up. Well, that's good. So why don't I jump to the questions I prepared for you? Because I'm sure some people are curious about learn. Um,
Absolutely.
if you're ready to go, I
Let's
can
do it.
start asking that. Well, the first question I have is the history of the school and how did it start?
Sure. Well, the Automotive Business School of Canada started in 1985, and it was the Canadian Automotive Institute. And it was a lot of dealers working with the Canadian Auto Dealers Association, and they created a memorandum of understanding between Georgian College and the CADA. And then they created a board of directors. So we have been around now 30. I think that's 37 years. I keep losing the last 2 years because of COVID. But we are governed by a board of directors, and on our board of directors, we have representation of the Canadian Auto Dealers Association, the Aftermarket Industry Association of Canada, Canadian Vehicle Manufacturers Association, Global Automakers of Canada, and then we have dealer representation from across Canada, and we also have the Provincial Dealers Association from across Canada as well. Now we're also governed by committees. So we have our curriculum advisory committee, which is chaired by a dealer from Western Canada, Rick Kosh, and we have members of the automotive industry that can help us with our curriculum and make sure that our content is current and relevant, and really guide the faculty members and the teams on the curriculum. We also have a marketing advisory committee, which is chaired by Alan Bird, and that also has different industry experts in the marketing field, and also in different parts of the industry. So the aftermarket industry, the dealer side, and also the OEM side. And that really helps us with our marketing. I mean, there's 700,000 jobs across Canada in the automotive industry, and we really need to attract as many students as possible. And our goal is really to attract and retain quality students and prepare them for a career in the auto industry.
Yeah, that
That's our history. That's how we started. We also have two other committees. So we run the largest outdoor auto show, student run auto show in Canada. Unfortunately, been suspended due to COVID the last couple of years. But we have an auto show committee that we have many manufacturers that are on and help guide our student directors through that as well.
this is really exciting because like 700,000 jobs in car business. It's vast. It's huge, and it's not going anywhere for a while, right? So I mean, we need transportation needs, even that, especially when that electrification is happening right now. It's really good to have more educated people sitting in those showrooms or in the service departments and keep getting updated with the latest developments. So that's going to help the customers and the people working there. So this
Yes,
is a really
absolutely.
good. And just for the record, I think you guys are a very unique school compared to the Canada, right? Is there any other schools compared to yours? Like this is the only one, as far as I know, right?
We're the only automotive business school in Canada. Yes, there is automotive programs at other colleges, but we have many programs to offer our students. If you don't mind, I can explain a couple of them. So we have a 2-year diploma, which is really geared towards entry to mid-level management, and you can take that 2-year diploma in person or online. So if you were in any part of Canada, you'd be able to do your diploma online, and you can do that within 2.5 to 4 years while you're working. But we also have a 4-year honors bachelor degree in automotive management, and that is the only one in Canada for a degree. And that is geared towards mid-level to upper level management, and we're all aspects of the automotive industry. So we're not just dealer centric. We're focused on the aftermarket industry, where there's 35,000 businesses in the aftermarket industry across Canada, and we also are dedicated to our OEMs and manufacturers as well.
That's nice. So that was actually going to be my the other question. Like, what programs do you offer other than those? So you have those two programs you mentioned, the diploma program and the bachelor program.
Yes.
Uh, but we had a conversation, and you were telling me some good stuff upcoming too with the full coverage, right, for the dealership. So could you tell me about those? ones upcoming too, or the new programs?
I sure can. So we've, COVID has allowed us an opportunity to work with our corporate training and continuing education department at the college. And we really, when I go across Canada and I talk to dealers and manufacturers and the industry representatives, that I ask them, what is it that we can do better, and what is it that you need? And we really heard, we really listened, and we really heard, and we developed some really great great courses over the last couple of years, or great programs over the last couple of years. So we developed one called Parts and Service Essentials, and that's for parts and service advisors. So when we're talking to dealers out there, we're understanding that. Back when I was a fixed operations manager, you were looking at 85 to 90% fixed absorption rates. And fast forward to 2022 now, I'm hearing some stories of 50% fixed absorption rates. The cars are changing, maintenance is less, getting the customer into the dealership is less frequent than it used to be. So we need to really understand, how to retain our customers and how to be, customer focused. So the Parts and Service Essentials brings both the parts advisor and the service advisor together. And we talk about operations. We talk about selling techniques. We talk about working together as a team, retail components, sales processes, marketing for both, and really just understanding and giving that customer experience that the customer is asking for. So we also then developed a leadership essentials series, and this is for a new manager within the auto industry somewhere. And we discuss, and this is 5 modules, which are about 6 hours each, and we talk about change management, which is a huge one today when we're looking at electrification and the ever changing business. We talk about communications for success, developing effective teams, coaching for performance, emotional intelligence at work, those things like having the difficult conversation, motivating your team during a pandemic or a TDI crisis. So we've been working on that program as well. Some exciting ones that we're working on. We're working with some of the dealers out here in Barrie, and we're trying to develop some EV 101 courses. So just to be able to send our sales representatives, parts and service representatives to do an online program that really informs them about EV 101. We'd also be able to get the customers to go there and maybe see some videos. We're going to create some videos just to try and disband the myths of EV vehicles. You when you're talking about electrification, you're hearing stories about range anxiety and where am I going to charge my vehicle, and what's my vehicle going to be like in the wintertime, and et cetera. And if I live up north, is it wise to have an electric vehicle? Well, electric vehicles are the way of the future, and they're coming, and we need to really inform everybody, including the industry, of what's coming and what's happening. So we're working on developing an EV Essentials program. And then we've also, we're just about to launch a really exciting program. And this is not just dedicated for automotive industry. This is for all industries, but, diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace. And that's a big topic of conversation over the last few years. So we've, our corporate training has developed a program. And if you want to see it, just go to georgiancollege.ca and look it up, and the program will give you the launch dates.
Wow, that's a lot of nice information there. I mean, new programs coming out. The one I find really interesting is that service advisor program, because during I worked in car dealerships, the only training these service advisors were getting are either from the company itself or the manufacturer modules, but there was really no training available for those people unless the company invest in some consultants or something like that. This is going to be really nice because I think service advisors, it's a good opportunity for them to get a training and learn the best practices, especially we're talking about absorption, and the absorption rates are going down compared to what you say, and you're 100% right about it. There's manufacturers out there don't even look at absorption they use. They have their own metrics now that they look at different things, which includes used car business into that mix now to be able to bump that number up a little bit. And and I think the key component, the key player to reverse that absorption ratios, right? I think that we do service advisors. I mean, I don't know if you agree with that, but
I do agree, and John, it's also getting the parts and service advisors to work together and to understand each other's positions and each other's challenges every day. And I've often thought about it, even when I was a general manager, and I'd sit in the service department, and somebody would come up to the parts counter and want a set of brakes for their Volkswagen Golf, and our parts advisor would go back, get them the brakes, and the customer would walk out the door. And what we're not thinking about is, if we have the brakes in stock, can we not ask the customer just a quick question of, can I walk you over to the service department, see if we can get that done for you today? And we don't train our and they sell more than an actual salesperson. When you think about it, they see more customers and they sell more. So we don't really give them any training, like you said, and any sales training or any customer experience training. I mean, if I was a customer walking in a dealership and they said, "Hey, we could probably get it done for you today," while you wait in the waiting lounge, it would be something that I would consider. And so we need those two teams to really work together and to really understand what the end goal is, and to provide that customer experience.
I think that's genius to, train them that way, because your GP on that transaction is a lot higher than selling that part itself. And maybe customer thinks that you're going to overcharge them or anything like that, but maybe that's not the case at all, because once you start comparing dealers to the third parties now,
Yeah.
dealers are not that expensive, like oil change, for instance, right? You go to a franchise dealership, they have their agreed pricing, and then compare to the third parties. I find it's very comparable. And, you want to take your car back to the franchise dealer, because especially if it's under warranty. So at the point of when somebody comes to buy a part and you're telling them that, asking them that question, that's genius, I think. So
Yeah.
thanks for sharing that.
A funny story that you bring up, oil changes. I actually had to do one on my own vehicle, and I'm a do-it-yourselfer type of guy. And I walked into the dealership, and my car's under warranty, and I bought the oil and the oil filter to do it myself. And nobody ever asked me the question where I was getting it done or if I would do it there. And then I needed another oil change in the wintertime, and I called them up and got the pricing for the oil change and went, why am I doing this myself? I'm not even saving $15. I mean, I might as well get the vehicle in and get it done by a professional and make sure everything's working and the oil gets disposed of for me. And so we need to ask those questions, and we need our service and parts advisors to understand that the customer, for just like me, and I'm a customer as well, if you had told me it was $15 more, I would have waited for it that day.
Yeah, for $15. I mean, but
Right.
your stuff really good too, though. So you may still do it just for fun.
Just for fun, maybe just for fun. Yeah.
But like an average consumer who is trying to do that stuff, right?
That's right.
That's 100%. You got to ask the right questions. You
You
need
sure
that.
do. Yeah.
You don't want to be confrontational with the people, like, why are you doing that on your own? But you got to be nice about it. Yeah, I'll get you the pads and the rotors that you need, no problem. By the way, do you want me to ask the server? It's a really smart thing to do it. So, well, why don't we talk about the benefits of your school? Like, okay, just besides you go there, learn, you get a diploma, you make friends and all that stuff. What are the what's the other benefits of the school for an average person gets
Sure.
educated there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're extremely lucky because we're governed by a board of directors from the industry. And when you have a board of directors that's from the industry, it gives the students the opportunity. I mean, we have students we have a guest speaker series in one of our courses. Students get the opportunity to talk to the president of the CADA, the president of a manufacturers, and different presidents of the aftermarket industry. And really, our students can come into our school and take one of our programs, and they have any opportunity in the industry that they want. I mean, we're partnered with well over 170 industry partners across Canada. And now that gives the students the opportunity for their co-op placements. We have over a 90% job placement at the end of graduation, but you get co-op placements and you get to try different aspects of the industry. I came up through the industry without going to the Automotive Business School of Canada. I really wish I had gone to the Automotive Business School, but I'll tell you, the opportunities that the students have to come into the school, meet industry experts, experience different parts of the industry. You can work if you're in our degree program, you get 3 co-op terms. So you can work in the aftermarket industry for one, you can work in a manufacturer for another, and then you can go work at a dealer. And then you can really decide for yourself what really excites you and what part of the industry you're already passionate about vehicles. All of our students are passionate about cars. And now it's like, let's find the exact role that fits them perfectly. And we help them do that. So we have great co-op placements. We have a great co-op team. We have great industry relations. We also do a speed networking so that students get to meet students get to meet people from the industry through a speed networking evening. So they interview with dealers, with manufacturers, with the aftermarket industry. We have our speed networking, our guest speaking, and our guest speaking is phenomenal. And for the students to be able to experience and listen to people who've had robust careers in the industry, it's great.
Wow, that's very beneficial for like a student, especially if you're like, and I think there's a lot of international students too coming into Canada to study at your school. And if you're an international student, you leave your home country to come here. That means you need networking because that's more important than everything to know more people because you're coming to a brand new country. And I think just that aspect alone is going to help your students, especially for international people coming in here, right?
Absolutely, and we have about 25% of our program areas are international students, and they do need that networking, and they do need the guidance to determine what they want to do for their future. And our industry also provides not only for international students, but for all our students. There are well over $150,000 in scholarships that are available for our students too, that are developed and created by the industry.
Wow, that's really nice to have something like that. This is amazing. Well, jumping to the other question. So, who could benefit from your education at your school? Like, is it specifically for people who are green, or would that be good for someone experienced who or international student? What would you say would be the who could benefit from your education at your school?
I think it's for anybody, really. It's for anybody that is passionate about the auto industry, or has the one misconception about the auto industry is that you're either selling cars or you're fixing cars. But there are so many other areas of opportunity for careers, and they're fantastic careers in the industry, and they're exciting and they're ever changing. And so anybody who's interested in a great career in the auto industry can get that through our school. Take either the diploma course, and we have a pathway into the degree if you decide or choose to go into the degree program afterwards. And then if you get into a dealership area and you want to become a general manager or a dealer, we also have our Canadian Dealer Academy that will benefit as well.
So I like to talk about more of your executive education for like I think you have something comparable to you were mentioning at the beginning of the podcast about comparable to NADA program in the US. So the question is, why would someone take your course, not go to NADA? What's the benefit? Like I'm specifically talking about Canadian automotive professionals, not like
Mhm.
from other countries. Why would a Canadian automotive professional should go to your school rather than an ADA program and take the same thing, like or like comparable thing, right?
Yeah, for sure. And that is our Canadian Dealer Academy. And it's I was part of the very first cohort back in 2014. And we this is an Ontario graduate certificate program. So that's the number. That's one reason why you would take the Canadian Dealer Academy. And the second reason is that it's very Canadian specific content. So this is a high level, very intensive program. There's 7 courses. It's a blended delivery, so we have 3 days on site and we have 6 weeks distance learning. And you do have a faculty member that's provided for you for the entire 7 weeks. And the faculty members are industry experts that we've brought in, and we've gone out and found some great faculty members to deliver these programs and these courses to our students. But the main reason is the Canadian content. So when you go down to the NADA, great school, great content, but it's not Canadian focused. It's North American focused, and ours is Canadian focused. So we talk about dealer sales and service agreements in Canada, which are different than the ones in the States. We talk about NADAP, which is different. We talk about OMVIC in Ontario. So you get that Canadian specific. We talk about CASL legislation in our customer experience program. And the courses that we provide dealership management, we provide customer experience, um, we provide parts, and we separated parts and service. So we have one parts and one service, and we have new and used, and we have financial. And then you finish that off with a capstone strategic action plan course. And so really you go through these 6 courses in the beginning, and in course number 7, you develop your business plan for the next 5 years. And that business plan is sitting at your desk, and I had it on my desk every day, and I remembered exactly what I needed to do to increase my business and to ensure customer experience and customer focused, to how to build a team and how to motivate my team. I mean, I was going through a diesel crisis at the time, and the lack of motivation was tough. And so how do you motivate your team? And talking to these faculty members who have years and years and years of experience was really helpful for us. And that's why you take the Dealer Academy.
That's a great answer. I really like it. So I think the Canadian content is the selling feature of this thing, because NADA is a great program. They teach you a lot of good stuff, but then they talk a lot about the American way of doing a lot of things in terms of laws, taxation, and all that things. And that may not apply to Canadian laws and taxation, because it's different. And as a general manager or dealer operator, you need to really be good at with your financial statements and operations, and you really need to know the laws and all that stuff. I mean, not as like a lawyer, but you got to have the basic understanding of the operations of the business, because at the end of the day, like according to Omvic, when you become a GM, you become a person in charge of that dealership. That
Correct.
means if things go wrong, you're on the hook. So
Yeah,
you got to know the
absolutely.
laws, right?
Absolutely. And even, like even you take new and used cars that we deliver, and it's different. Sales in the US is instant. You buy a car in the US and you take delivery that day, and you drive off the lot. And here we have different laws and regulations when it's surrounding finance and insurance sales, and our sales are different, and so it's good Canadian specific content. Absolutely.
That's really nice to hear. Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. So maybe I'll take it down the road too sometime. But
Please do. I always pop into a lot of the courses all across Canada. Right now, we're fully online. We're planning on being back in person in September, and I pop into many of the courses as I can, and I love to meet the students. And no better way to teach somebody than to tell them the mistakes you've made over the last 30 years.
yeah, and I guess once this goes back to person too, I mean, you're gonna be sharing that classroom, right, or the place where it's conducted. You're gonna get to meet a lot of nice people that you can learn a lot of things from them as well, because communication is amazing. I always believe in that, to talking to people, like-minded people. You can learn a lot of things from them, and I think that's another killer feature too. I think if your program having another Canadian person in charge of another dealership, maybe out west or out east, you can learn some good practices too. I think it's always good to have that.
Yeah, absolutely. The diversity, the geographical diversity is great, and also the industry diversity is great. So then when you get, we have manufacturers and we have dealer represent or DSMs that come into our program as well. So you've got the manufacturers' outlook on the business, and you've got the dealers' outlook, and the side conversations and the collaborations that happen are fantastic, and the students just love it.
Nice. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, Jason. I think you answered a lot of questions, not just for me, but a lot of people who are interested in this business, and that was the main reason I wanted to have this episode 14 with you, because we got a lot of people, younger people especially, looking for careers, and they're undecided, especially newer generations like Gen Zs.
Mhm.
and they probably not aware of the fact that the car business is available for them too. And I think going through the education will be the stepping stone into the business to get them, that get their foot wet so they can make a decision if that's something they maybe pursue. uh, but really appreciate for your time. Before wrap it up, any final things you want to add? Like, how can people reach you if they have questions? What's the best way to do that? Somebody's interested in that, being a prospect, like some prospective students. What's the best way to get the information about your school?
Sure. First, you know what, John? Thank you very much for having me on the show. It's been great. Happy to answer all the questions and talk about our school. Very proud of the work that our team does, our faculty team, our support, and our admin team that work with our students. I'm very proud of them all. In order to reach us, very easy, absc.ca, and all of our programs are on there. If you want a tour of the school, we're starting to do tours again now. We're going to be back in person we're going to run 2 semesters in person in the summer, and then we'll be back full time in person in September. If you have any questions, you want any tours, you want to come up, please, my team is there for you. They'll answer any of your questions that you have, and we look forward to seeing you at the school.
That's perfect. Thank you very much, Jason. And for our audience, if you missed the whole conversation, you can watch this on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. It's recorded live. Also, if you would like to listen to this in your car while you're driving, you can go to Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, you name it, we're everywhere. And if you have any questions for me personally, feel free to reach me out. Thank you very much for joining today. And again, thanks, Jason. And I wish you guys a happy and safe day today. Thank you very much.